Eli's shuttle rattled slightly as it broke through the upper atmosphere of the planet. The control panels hummed softly and the lights flickered across his face. He checked the clock for the third time in as many minutes. He was late, very late. He had been warned repeatedly. The aliens were precise. They valued punctuality almost as much as intelligence. Eli's stomach twisted as he realized that he had underestimated the time it would take to navigate the spaceport traffic. Every second he delayed was another second he might lose their respect. The shuttle's engines thrummed beneath him, steady and reliable. Eli tried to steady his own nerves. "Focus," he muttered to himself. "It's just a meeting, just a test, just a room full of aliens." Nothing unusual, but the words felt hollow. In truth, nothing about this situation was ordinary. This wasn't a simple diplomatic exchange. The human race had been observed for decades by the Council of Explorers, a mysterious group of alien species who had never encountered humans in person. Now, Eli was about to become the first human to face them directly. He adjusted his suit, a standard exploratory uniform, and straightened the patch on his chest that read Earth Federation. The material was slightly warm against his skin, a comforting reminder of home. He had always relied on preparation, on planning every detail, but preparation could only do so much when dealing with beings whose thought processes were entirely foreign. The shuttle began its descent, slicing through clouds of a strange, iridescent mist that shimmered with faint colors he had never seen before. Eli's stomach tightened. The landing pad stretched out below him, massive and smooth with no visible seams. He could see lights that seemed to float above the surface, marking pathways and entrances. The design was elegant, clean, and almost hypnotic. It was clear that this civilization valued precision and beauty. As the shuttle's landing struts touched the platform with a soft thud, Eli took a deep breath. This was it. The moment he had trained for, the moment humanity had waited for, was here. The hatch opened with a hiss, and a gentle breeze, warm and scented with a faint metallic tang, greeted him. He stepped out, boots clicking against the smooth floor, echoing in the massive chamber. The lighting was soft and ambient, illuminating the room without harsh shadows. He moved forward, eyes scanning the space, searching for whoever was supposed to greet him. And then he froze. The room was enormous, easily 3 times the size of a typical human conference hall. But it wasn't the size that stopped him. It was the figures standing within it. Dozens of alien women were there, arranged with a quiet elegance that made the space feel both grand and intimidating. Their skin glowed faintly, shifting in shades of blues, greens, and purples. Their eyes were large, luminous, and intelligent. They did not speak. They did not move. They simply watched. Every one of them focused on Eli with a calm, piercing attention that made him feel as if he were being measured, examined, and weighed. Eli's mouth went dry. He had imagined a council chamber, a few dignitaries, maybe 1 or 2 translators. He had not imagined dozens of alien women waiting silently for him, their presence so commanding that it seemed to fill the entire room. He swallowed hard, reminding himself to breathe. "Welcome, human," a voice said suddenly. It was melodic and clear, but carried a tone that suggested authority without aggression. Eli looked toward the source. One of the aliens had stepped forward. Her skin shimmered with a soft violet hue, and her eyes glimmered with intelligence and curiosity. I'm Eli," he managed to say, his voice steadier than he expected. "From Earth, I apologize for being late. I underestimated the transit times from the orbital shuttle. It won't happen again." Eli could feel their focus, like invisible threads connecting them in a silent network of awareness. He followed the first alien into a smaller chamber, leaving the larger hall behind. The walls of the new room were smooth and reflective, but the reflections did not distort. It felt almost like stepping inside a polished gem. In the center of the room lay a table, simple in design but clearly engineered with care. On it were a series of objects, shapes, symbols, and devices Eli had never seen before. "This," the alien began, gesturing to the table, "is the first test. It is not dangerous. It is not a challenge of strength. It is a challenge of mind, observation, and perception. You will demonstrate to us the qualities that your species possesses, qualities that are rare in the galaxy." Eli felt the familiar stirrings of excitement that came when humans faced the unknown. This was what they were known for: curiosity, ingenuity, and the ability to adapt. He reached out, touching one of the devices. It hummed beneath his fingers, responding to his touch in a pattern he could feel but not immediately understand. Eli closed his eyes, breathing slowly, letting his mind settle. Humans had always thrived in situations that demanded creativity under pressure. He had solved impossible problems, repaired equipment with minimal resources, and adapted to environments that no other species could survive. Now he would need to do it under scrutiny. Minutes passed. Eli experimented with the devices, testing reactions, trying sequences, observing patterns. He made mistakes, but each mistake taught him something new. Gradually, a pattern emerged. The devices responded to combinations of touch, pressure, and rhythm. Eli adjusted his movements accordingly, feeling a growing sense of connection with the alien technology. The observing alien watched without interruption. Occasionally, she tilted her head or made a subtle gesture, as if acknowledging a correct approach or a particularly clever maneuver. Eli did not know if she was approving or merely observing, but he continued, trusting his instincts and experience. Finally, after what felt like hours but was likely only minutes, the devices arranged themselves into a harmonious pattern. Lights pulsed in sequence, colors blending into one another in a dance of geometry and sound. Eli stepped back, exhaling. He felt a surge of pride, but also a deep awareness of how much this moment mattered. Humanity's reputation, its future, and its place in the galaxy were all being judged by these observers. The alien stepped forward. You understand patterns, you adapt, you experiment. You learn from failure. These are qualities we admire. You are unlike most species we have encountered. Thank you, he said simply, trying to contain his excitement. He felt a sense of validation, a recognition of everything humanity had achieved despite its small size in the cosmos. The alien nodded once. There will be more tests. Each will examine a different aspect of your kind. You may find them unusual, uncomfortable, or difficult. That is intentional. Our council seeks to understand your species, not merely your intelligence. Their eyes were fixed on him, observing every move. Eli realized that their silence was a form of pressure, a way to measure composure, confidence, and emotional resilience. The weight of their gaze was immense, but it also inspired him. Humanity had always been measured against impossible standards and had always found a way to exceed them. The chamber opened again, and Eli stepped inside. The women had not moved, but he could sense a subtle shift, a ripple of interest that passed through their ranks. The first test had been completed. He did not yet know what the next challenge would be, but he felt ready. More importantly, he felt human, clever, resilient, and unafraid. For the first time, he smiled. He was late, yes, but perhaps being human was never about arriving on time. Perhaps it was about what humans did when they arrived. And Eli had just begun. Eli stepped back into the large chamber, the soft glow of alien lights reflecting off the smooth floors. The dozens of alien women had not moved, but their presence was no less imposing. He could feel their attention like a gentle pressure, weighing and measuring him in ways words could never capture. The first test had been about observation and adaptation, and he had passed. But Eli knew this was only the beginning. The alien who had guided him earlier approached. This next evaluation will examine your reasoning, collaboration, and empathy, she explained. Her voice was calm and melodic, yet each word carried an authority that made Eli instinctively pay attention. You will not be alone in this test. You may interact with our devices with each other and with your own understanding of human nature. Watch carefully, listen carefully, adapt quickly. Everything he did now might reflect on an entire species. The alien led him to a long, transparent table in the center of the room. On it were several small objects, similar to the devices from the first test but more complex. They were arranged in clusters, some pulsating with light, some moving slowly as if alive. Eli leaned over the table, studying them. They will respond differently this time, the alien said. Observe patterns, anticipate responses, and work with what you are given. There is no single solution. The same principle applied here. He reached out to the first device, a small orb that glimmered with shifting colors. The moment his fingers touched it, it emitted a soft chime and moved toward a neighboring orb. The sequence seemed almost random at first, but as he watched, he began to notice subtle repetitions. Certain gestures, certain sequences of touches produced predictable results. Eli's mind raced. He remembered training exercises from Earth, simulations designed to prepare humans for unpredictable alien environments. He applied those lessons here. His hands moved quickly and carefully, testing sequences and noting outcomes. The orbs responded to rhythm, position, and timing. Each interaction revealed new possibilities. You observe quickly, the alien beside him said. Her eyes glimmered with a soft light, betraying curiosity and approval. Many species fail this stage. They either overthink or hesitate. You adapt instinctively. Hours seemed to pass as he experimented, adjusted, and adapted. Some orbs responded immediately, while others required patience and careful attention. Eli began to understand that the test was not just about manipulating devices, but about understanding relationships, cause and effect, sequence and consequence, even intention. The alien council watched silently, their expressions unreadable, yet he sensed approval in subtle gestures. A slight tilt of the head, the narrowing of an eye, the faint ripple of color across their skin. Humans thrived on observation and adaptation, and Eli could feel that these qualities were being recognized. Suddenly, one orb moved in a way he did not expect, spinning rapidly and emitting a high-pitched chime. Eli froze, realizing the orb's movement disrupted the sequence he had been building. For a moment, panic threatened to take hold. He could feel the weight of dozens of alien gazes on him, silently expecting a reaction. Then Eli laughed quietly, surprising himself. Instead of retreating, he leaned into the unexpected challenge. Humans had always been valued for their ability to improvise, to find solutions where none seemed possible. He adjusted his approach, incorporating the orb's unexpected movements into the sequence rather than resisting them. Slowly, methodically, he rebuilt the pattern. The orbs began to respond harmoniously. Lights pulsed, rhythms synchronized, and the devices moved as if alive, following a pattern that Eli had discovered rather than forced. He stepped back and exhaled. The alien beside him tilted her head, eyes glowing softly. "You understand adaptability," she said. "You can see solutions where others see chaos. This is rare." He realized that humanity's greatest strength was not brute force, not size or speed, but creativity, flexibility, and ingenuity. These qualities had allowed humans to survive in environments far harsher than this alien council could imagine. "Now," the alien continued, "we will examine collaboration. You may engage with others, even those different from yourself. Observe, communicate, and work together." "Hello, I'm Eli. Can we work together?" His voice carried the familiar human warmth and humor that often bridged differences. The alien leader of the cluster inclined her head. "We observe, we learn, collaborate as you understand collaboration. The method is yours to discover." He began to experiment with the cluster of aliens, adjusting gestures, timing, and approach. He noticed that their responses were not uniform. Some reacted immediately to his actions, while others waited, assessing. He learned to synchronize, to anticipate movements, and to communicate without words. Hours passed. Patterns emerged. Through trial and error, Eli and the aliens in the cluster achieved a harmonious sequence of movements, light, and sound. The devices responded collectively, creating a symphony of rhythm and color that none of the individual participants could have achieved alone. The observing aliens shifted subtly. Eli could feel the ripple of approval, the quiet excitement of beings recognizing potential. Humans were often underestimated, assumed to be impulsive or simplistic, yet here his creativity, adaptability, and empathy were proving the opposite. "You see relationships where others see only objects," one alien said softly. "You understand collaboration instinctively. This is rare, valuable." This recognition, however subtle, affirmed what humans had always known. Survival was not about strength alone, but about intelligence, adaptability, and the ability to work together. As the test drew to a close, the aliens began to withdraw slightly, allowing Eli space to reflect. The room was quiet except for the gentle hum of the devices, now settled into a stable, synchronized rhythm. Eli stepped back, hands on hips, and allowed himself a moment to breathe. He thought of Earth, of deserts, oceans, mountains, and cities, of humans facing impossible odds and finding solutions where none existed. That same spirit, that same ingenuity, had guided him here, in a room full of beings whose existence challenged every human assumption. The alien leader stepped forward. "You have performed admirably," she said. "You are adaptable, you are creative, you understand relationships and collaboration. These qualities are unusual, yet essential for what is to come. The Council observes carefully, and your species' potential is now evident." He had faced unknown devices, unexpected challenges, and the unblinking gaze of dozens of alien women, and he had succeeded. It was a triumph not of strength, but of mind, heart, and instinct, the very qualities that defined humanity. "Rest," the alien continued. "There will be more tests. Each will probe a different aspect of your kind, learn from each experience. You may find them uncomfortable, difficult, or unfamiliar. That is intentional. Our council seeks to understand your species, not merely your intelligence. More than that, he felt a quiet pride in being human, a species small in the galaxy, yet capable of ingenuity, creativity, and collaboration that rivaled even the most advanced alien minds. As he left the chamber, he caught sight of the dozens of alien women still waiting silently in the larger room. Their presence was imposing, yet now he understood something important. They did not expect humans to fail. They expected to see potential. They were curious. They were observing, yes, but with a kind of cautious respect. Eli realized that being late had not diminished his value. What mattered was not the time of arrival, but what he did upon arrival. And humans, for all their flaws, had always been capable of rising to challenges in ways that others could not predict. He felt a quiet determination. The Council's tests were only beginning. There would be surprises, difficulties, and moments of doubt. But he was ready. Humans had never relied on sheer strength alone. They relied on creativity, intuition, and heart, qualities that had carried them across harsh planets, through impossible situations, and now, perhaps, across the stars themselves. And for the first time since stepping onto this planet, Eli felt not fear, not anxiety, but excitement. He was exactly where he was meant to be. Eli woke early the next cycle, the soft hum of the alien habitat surrounding him. Sleep had been uneasy, his mind replaying every moment of the previous tests. His hands itched to solve, touch, and explore again. Humans, he thought, always sought patterns, always wanted to understand. It was a need ingrained in them, something that had allowed his species to survive in deserts, oceans, and space. As he walked toward the chamber, the soft lights reflected off the smooth walls, painting gentle streaks across his path. The dozens of alien women were already assembled in the large room. Today, however, there was a change in the atmosphere, a subtle ripple of anticipation that Eli could sense even without words. They were waiting, not just to observe, but to reveal. The lead alien, the one with violet-tinted skin, stepped forward. "You have performed admirably in observation and collaboration," she said, "but there is more to your species than mere adaptation. You have demonstrated skill, curiosity, and empathy. Yet we are not here to test skill alone. We wish to understand potential, the essence of humanity. You will be shown what we have observed of your kind," the alien continued. "We will reveal truths that few humans have ever known. Watch carefully, absorb, respond thoughtfully." It was a chaotic display of images, sounds, and patterns, seemingly random yet mesmerizing. "This," the alien said, "is a record of your species as we have observed it from afar. Your history, your conflicts, your inventions, your triumphs, and your failures. We have studied you because humans are unpredictable, dangerous, and remarkable. Now you will see yourselves through our eyes." He saw moments of compassion, bravery, curiosity, and innovation. He saw mistakes, errors, and failures, but always a spark of persistence, of intelligence, of heart. The alien's voice resonated softly around him. "Humans are feared not for their strength nor for their size. They are feared for unpredictability, for creativity, for the ability to adapt in ways no other species can. They solve problems others cannot, imagine possibilities others cannot, and act with both courage and intuition. Your species is rare, valuable, and difficult to define. And here, far from Earth, their unique traits were being recognized by beings who had never seen them before." He stepped closer to the hologram, examining the images. There were humans on distant worlds, building colonies under harsh suns. There were humans exploring deep oceans on Earth, reaching into darkness that no other species dared enter. There were humans creating works of art, of music, of stories, expressions of thought, feeling, and imagination that the aliens had clearly studied in detail. Eli realized that the Council's evaluation was not only about skill or knowledge, it was about spirit. The way humans combined curiosity, intuition, and resilience in ways no other species did. That combination, unpredictable and sometimes chaotic, was what made humans both dangerous and fascinating. "Humans are extraordinary," Eli whispered almost to himself. The lead alien's gaze fixed on him, not as a judge, but as an observer. "Extraordinary, yes, but not perfect. Your species is flawed. You fight among yourselves, waste resources, and often act without foresight. Yet in moments that demand creativity, empathy, or courage, you shine in ways that no other species has demonstrated. You are unpredictable. That is your greatest strength. Flawed, yes, but brilliant in ways that defied calculation." The hologram shifted, showing not only humans but their interactions with other species. Aliens from distant planets were often cautious around humans, sometimes fearful, sometimes impressed. Eli saw patterns emerge. Where other species relied on structure, humans relied on intuition. Where others hesitated, humans acted. Where others followed rules, humans created them. You are unique not because you dominate others, nor because you conquer, nor because you destroy, the alien said. You are unique because you are unpredictable, imaginative, and capable of rapid innovation. You adapt where others cannot. You create where others destroy. You survive where others fail. You combine intellect and emotion in ways we cannot always understand. That is why you are here, human. That is why we summoned you. Humans had been underestimated for millennia, and here, for the first time, he felt that their true value was being acknowledged. The alien continued, stepping closer. We have observed many species. Most are predictable, logical, and efficient. Humans are none of these consistently. You are creative, sometimes reckless, but always capable of solutions that defy expectation. That is what makes you remarkable. Every story, every invention, every act of courage had led to this moment, being recognized, understood, and evaluated not for conformity, but for potential. The hologram shifted again, now showing humans interacting with each other. There were disagreements, conflicts, mistakes, but also collaboration, innovation, and courage. The aliens had seen it all, and yet they still found something compelling, something rare. Eli realized that humans were not just a species of survival, they were a species of possibility. You are capable of more than survival, the alien said softly. You are capable of transformation, of invention, of connection. That is what we wish to understand. Not merely your skill, but your essence. Humanity had survived and thrived in ways no other species could. Humans had explored oceans, deserts, skies, and now the stars. They had created technologies, cultures, and societies that reflected both logic and heart. They were unpredictable, sometimes chaotic, but always resilient. The alien leader studied him, her eyes glimmering with subtle approval. You have observed yourself as we have. You understand what your species is capable of. This understanding will guide you in the next stages. Your species' potential is now clear. We will now test the application of these qualities. You will face challenges that require not only skill but intuition, creativity, and courage. Humans are unusual yet invaluable. For the first time, he truly understood the Council's intentions. They were not merely testing skill. They were evaluating humanity's potential, the ability to rise above expectation, to innovate, to create, and to adapt in ways no other species could. This was the essence of HFY, humans shining through intelligence, ingenuity, and spirit, even when underestimated. The alien gestured to the exit. Rest now, human. Reflect on what you have seen. Understand your own potential. Tomorrow you will face challenges that will test every aspect of your species. You will not be alone, and yet your actions will reflect humanity. Be ready. Humans were unpredictable, creative, and capable of extraordinary things. Their potential was recognized across the galaxy by beings who had never seen a human in person before. He looked at the dozens of alien women waiting silently in the large room. They were observing, yes, but he now understood their intent. They were not judging harshly. They were curious, fascinated, and aware of humanity's rare qualities. Eli felt a renewed sense of purpose. As he walked through the chamber, he thought of Earth and its people. Flawed, yes, unpredictable, certainly, but brilliant in ways the galaxy could scarcely imagine. And here he was, a single human tasked with representing all of that potential. Eli smiled quietly. Humans had survived, thrived, and innovated against impossible odds, and now they were being recognized for the very qualities that had always defined them. Creativity, intuition, empathy, and courage were not just traits. They were proof that humans could stand among the stars. Tomorrow's challenges awaited. They would test his mind, his spirit, and his ability to apply everything humans were capable of. But Eli felt ready. He understood the Council's intentions. He understood humanity's value. And for the first time, he felt a quiet certainty. Humans were not only capable of rising to the challenge, they were destined to shine. The stars beyond the chamber seemed brighter, more inviting. And Eli knew that this was only the beginning. Humanity's true potential had been revealed not through conquest, but through creativity, ingenuity, and heart. Eli awoke with a sense of purpose. The revelations from the previous day had settled into his mind like pieces of a puzzle finally snapping into place. Humanity was not just capable of survival. Humans were unpredictable, creative, and capable of extraordinary feats of intelligence and ingenuity. The council had seen this, recognized it, and now it was time to show them what humans could truly accomplish. As he walked toward the chamber, he noticed the alien women already assembled, their presence commanding yet calm. They were not just observers now, they were participants in what would become the ultimate test of human potential. Eli took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility and the thrill of opportunity. The lead alien, with her violet-tinted skin, stepped forward. "Human," she said, her voice calm but resonant, "you have observed yourself and your species. Now we wish to see these qualities applied. The next stage will test creativity, collaboration, and adaptability under novel circumstances. Success is not guaranteed, but potential will be revealed through effort and ingenuity." They solved problems often in ways others could not predict. This was their strength. The chamber's center shifted, revealing a complex structure of floating platforms, lights, and devices. Each element appeared to have its own logic, yet none of it was immediately apparent. Eli could see that the challenge was not simple. He would need to analyze, experiment, and improvise, combining reasoning with intuition. The alien continued. "This structure represents a scenario requiring coordination, creativity, and the ability to adapt. You may interact with any component, and you may collaborate with the council. The goal is not competition, but demonstration of potential. Proceed as you see fit." He began testing the first cluster, noticing patterns in the way the devices responded. Rhythm, timing, and position mattered. Slowly, he discovered sequences that triggered specific effects, aligning colors, lights, and vibrations into harmony. Each small success built momentum, boosting his confidence. The alien leader observed silently, yet Eli felt subtle acknowledgement in her posture and the flicker of light across her skin. Humans were clever, unpredictable, and capable of seeing solutions others could not. Every instinct he had, every lesson humanity had learned through millennia of exploration, innovation, and survival, guided him now. After mastering the first cluster, Eli moved to the next. Here, the challenge increased. The devices were interconnected in ways that were not obvious. Manipulating one affected others unpredictably. Eli paused, considering his options. He realized that brute force or repetition would not work. Humans thrived in ambiguity, capable of improvising under conditions that demanded flexibility and insight. He experimented, applying combinations of movement, touch, and timing. At first, the results were chaotic. Lights flickered in unexpected sequences, sounds clashed, and platforms shifted incorrectly. But Eli observed, adapted, and tried again. Each failure taught him something new, and gradually, patterns emerged. The devices began to synchronize, responding to his actions in a way that suggested understanding rather than mere manipulation. Eli smiled faintly. Humans had always been able to find solutions where others failed. The aliens' observation of this ingenuity was exactly what the council sought. As he progressed, the alien women began to engage subtly. They adjusted their positions, moved platforms gently, and offered patterns for interaction without speaking. Eli noticed the differences in their approach, each unique yet coordinated. Collaboration was key. Humans were capable not only of independent creativity, but of working effectively with others, even those different from themselves. He began to anticipate their movements, synchronizing his actions with theirs. Together, they orchestrated sequences of light, color, and motion that were far more complex than any single participant could achieve alone. Eli realized that this was the council's ultimate purpose, to see how humans integrated intelligence, creativity, and adaptability in collaboration with others. Hours passed. Eli's focus never wavered. Humans had always excelled in prolonged challenges, capable of maintaining attention, analyzing, and adjusting strategies. Every trial built upon the last, every interaction with the devices and the council brought him closer to a harmonious sequence. Finally, a pattern emerged. Lights pulsed in synchronized rhythm, platforms aligned perfectly, and sounds blended into a subtle symphony. Eli stepped back, letting the structure stabilize. The room was quiet except for the gentle hum of the devices. The lead alien's eyes glimmered with approval. "You have applied observation, creativity, and collaboration effectively. You adapt, improvise, and lead without coercion. Your species is remarkable." Yet here, under the scrutiny of beings who had observed the galaxy for centuries, humanity's ingenuity shone. The alien continued. "Observe now the final challenge. This will combine every quality you have demonstrated: creativity, adaptability, intuition, and collaboration. It will require foresight and flexibility. Success is not guaranteed. Yet your species has shown potential unlike any other. Proceed as you see fit. He realized immediately that the challenge was not merely about control, but about understanding relationships, predicting outcomes, and integrating action with observation. He began to experiment, carefully observing each reaction, adjusting his movements, and predicting patterns. Some devices responded to subtle shifts in rhythm, others to light touch, and a few required precise timing. Every action was a test of creativity and intuition. Humans thrived in such situations, capable of learning quickly, improvising, and finding solutions where others might fail. The alien women watched closely, their attention both gentle and exacting. Eli sensed their subtle signals, their encouragement without words. He realized that collaboration extended beyond human interaction. It included understanding the council's expectations, anticipating responses, and adapting in real time. Gradually, the network began to stabilize. Devices responded predictably, aligning in a complex but harmonious pattern. Eli's heart raced. Every adjustment, every observation, every small experiment had contributed to this success. Humans were capable of combining intelligence, intuition, and collaboration in ways few other species could achieve. Finally, the sequence reached completion. Lights pulsed in perfect synchronization, sounds blended into a harmonious rhythm, and the devices appeared almost to breathe. Eli stepped back, exhaling. The council's approval was subtle but unmistakable. "You have demonstrated exceptional potential," the lead alien said. "You are not only capable of understanding and adapting, but of leading, creating, and integrating knowledge in ways that are rare across the galaxy. Your species combines ingenuity, intuition, and collaboration unlike any other. This is why humans are remarkable. We have observed many civilizations. Most are predictable and efficient. Humans are unpredictable, creative, and capable of rapid adaptation. This is why you are here and why your potential is recognized." He realized now that humanity's greatest strength was not power or numbers, but creativity, flexibility, and intelligence, qualities that no other species could replicate fully. "You have succeeded in demonstrating the full spectrum of your abilities," the alien concluded. "You have adapted, innovated, collaborated, and led. Your species' potential is now clear, and it is exceptional." He looked at the dozens of alien women, their expressions calm yet observant. For the first time, he realized that their judgment was not harsh or critical. It was curious, respectful, and thoughtful. They were witnessing the essence of humanity: intelligence, creativity, and the ability to adapt under pressure. Eli smiled quietly. The challenges had tested him, but they had also allowed him to demonstrate what humans were truly capable of. Unpredictable, clever, and resilient, humans were a species of potential, capable of extraordinary things when opportunity demanded it. As he left the chamber, Eli felt a renewed sense of purpose. The council had seen what humans could do, and he had shown them not through aggression or dominance, but through creativity, intuition, and collaboration. This was humanity at its best: clever, adaptable, and capable of rising to challenges that no other species could meet in quite the same way. He stepped outside the chamber and took a deep breath. The alien council watched silently, yet Eli felt no fear. Instead, he felt recognition and respect. Humanity had proven its value not through force, but through mind and spirit. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but Eli knew one thing clearly: humans were remarkable. They were capable of brilliance, creativity, and ingenuity that could not be predicted or matched. And in this moment, under the watchful eyes of the council, humanity's potential was finally being understood. Eli stood at the threshold of the chamber, looking over the dozens of alien women who had been observing him for cycles now. The air felt heavier than usual, charged with expectation, yet calm. Today was different. Today, he would see the culmination of everything he had demonstrated: observation, adaptability, creativity, collaboration, and intuition. Every test had led to this moment. The lead alien, with her violet-tinted skin shimmering faintly under the soft lights, stepped forward. "Human," she said, her voice resonant, "you have completed the evaluations. You have observed yourself, applied your species, strengths, and demonstrated qualities that are rare and exceptional. It is time for acknowledgement." The chamber shifted subtly, walls adjusting to reveal a massive, circular dais at the center. On it, a holographic map of countless star systems shimmered, planets twinkling like jewels. Eli stepped closer, eyes widening. Each point of light represented a civilization, a species, or a colony. It was a representation of the galaxy itself, and humanity was about to take its place. You have demonstrated qualities that few species possess, the lead alien continued. Ingenuity, adaptability, collaboration, and creativity. Most civilizations are predictable, structured, and efficient. Humans are unpredictable, emotional, and intuitive. Yet these qualities, which often confound others, make your species unique and remarkable. You are capable of solutions that other species cannot imagine. And now, in this chamber, his species' potential was finally being recognized by beings who had once seemed untouchable. The lead alien gestured toward the holographic map. This galaxy is vast. Many species have advanced knowledge, technology, and strategy. Yet few have the qualities we seek: creativity, intuition, and the ability to adapt under uncertainty. These qualities are rare, yet invaluable. Humans possess them in abundance. Your species is therefore invited to join a council of civilizations, not merely as observers, but as equals, capable of contributing in ways that no other species can. Not through force or domination, but through ingenuity, intelligence, and heart. It was a recognition of everything humans had always been: clever, resourceful, and capable of extraordinary things. The other alien women shifted slightly, forming a circle around the dais. Eli could feel their gaze, not as judgment, but as recognition. They had watched, observed, and tested, and now they were acknowledging humanity's worth. It was a validation of everything he had done, and everything his species had achieved. You may find this opportunity unfamiliar, the lead alien continued, for your species has often been underestimated, dismissed, or confined to a small corner of its world. Yet your uniqueness is precisely what makes you invaluable. You are capable of thinking beyond boundaries, creating solutions where others see problems, and achieving harmony in ways others cannot. Your potential is now fully recognized. He ran his fingers along the glowing points, imagining human colonies, ships, and explorers moving through the galaxy. The thought filled him with awe and a quiet determination. Humanity had always dreamed of the stars, and now that dream was being validated by those who had watched from afar. One of the alien women, older and taller than the rest, stepped forward. Her skin shimmered with a soft green hue. "Human," she said, "your species combines qualities that are feared and respected by other civilizations. You are unpredictable yet precise, emotional yet intelligent, chaotic yet capable of order. These qualities make you dangerous to some and indispensable to others. It is time the galaxy recognizes what we have observed. Humans are remarkable." The lead alien's eyes glimmered, and she extended a hand toward him. "As a representative of your species, you are now entrusted with the knowledge that humans have a place in the galactic community. Your potential is recognized, and your contributions are valued. You will be given guidance, access, and opportunity. The galaxy will observe and learn from you, as we have." Every child who had looked up at the stars and imagined possibilities beyond their world. He took a deep breath. "Thank you," he said, his voice steady. "Not just for recognizing me, but for recognizing humanity. We have always strived to explore, to create, and to understand. We will continue to do so, and we will not disappoint the faith you have placed in us." Now they recognized that these qualities were not anomalies, but intrinsic to humanity itself. "You have understood your species," the lead alien said softly. "You have applied creativity, collaboration, and intuition. You have demonstrated that humans are not only capable of survival, but of transformation, innovation, and progress. You have shown the essence of what it means to be human." And now, for the first time, that proof was being recognized across the stars. The holographic map shifted, highlighting human colonies, research vessels, and exploration points. Eli could see their potential expanding into the galaxy, connecting stars and civilizations in ways that only humans could imagine. It was a vision of hope, ingenuity, and cooperation. "You will guide your species," the lead alien continued. "You will represent humanity in the council, sharing insight, innovation, and creativity. Your unpredictability will not be a weakness, but a strength. Others may fear what they cannot predict, yet it is precisely that which allows humans to thrive. Use it wisely, and your species will flourish among the stars." He stepped back and looked at the council. "We will not forget what you have recognized today," he said. "Humans will continue to explore, innovate, and collaborate. We will share knowledge, create solutions, and strive for understanding. And we will do so with the very qualities you have acknowledged: creativity, adaptability, and courage." Then humanity's potential is now secure. Your place among civilizations is affirmed. You have demonstrated not only ability but spirit. You have shown that your species is remarkable. He realized that their journey was only beginning. Humans had been recognized for their potential, but it was up to them to fulfill it. "You may leave now, human," the lead alien said. "Go with understanding and purpose. Your species will be remembered, observed, and valued. The galaxy awaits your contribution." The dozens of alien women observed him silently, but their presence was no longer intimidating. It was respectful, acknowledging the culmination of effort, intelligence, and ingenuity. Humans had impressed, adapted, and demonstrated qualities that few others could replicate. As he exited into the observation deck, Eli looked out at the stars beyond. He saw planets, nebulae, and distant galaxies, each a challenge, an opportunity, and a mystery. Humanity had been small, limited to one world, yet now it had the recognition and potential to reach far beyond its origins. Eli allowed himself a smile. The journey had been difficult and the tests had been exacting, yet humanity had passed not through force, but through intelligence, creativity, and spirit. They had demonstrated the very essence of what it meant to be human, adaptable, clever, and capable of extraordinary things. The stars seemed brighter now, filled with possibilities. Eli knew that humanity's place in the galaxy was secure, not by dominance, but by ingenuity, collaboration, and heart. They had earned recognition, and they would continue to earn it through action, creativity, and persistence. For the first time, Eli truly felt the weight and potential of his species. Humans were small, unpredictable, and imperfect, yet brilliant in ways the galaxy had never imagined. And now the galaxy had recognized them. The chamber faded behind him, leaving Eli in the quiet observation deck, staring at the endless expanse of stars. He felt anticipation, pride, and hope. Humanity's journey among the stars had only just begun. They would be explorers, innovators, and collaborators, leaving a mark not through force or aggression, but through creativity, adaptability, and intelligence. And Eli knew that this moment, the recognition by the Council, would be remembered for generations. Humans had proven themselves remarkable. The galaxy had taken notice, and the story of humanity, clever and courageous, was just beginning.